You're listening to the Low Pressure Podcast, the podcast for skiers.
Presented by CMH Heli Skiing and Peak Performance.
This episode of the LPP is brought to you by CMH Heli Skiing, Peak Performance Outerwear, Fat Tire Amber Ale, RMU Skis and Mountain Culture Shops, and the official destination partner of the LPP, Kicking Horse Mountain Resort in beautiful Golden, British Columbia. Enjoy the episode. Carl.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers, man. We are here in the Ski Lodge Engelberg, although I think the sign isn't low enough. Maybe we'll shoot it later, but Ski Lodge Engelberg here in Switzerland. We just finished a couple weeks, or I guess a week, a super condensed 2 comps on the Freeride World Tour in Andorra and Bakira, where you podiumed.
That was a good start.
It was a good start.
Yeah,
we were talking about it on the FWT podcast, Derek and I, and we're like, that guy's hungry.
I am.
He's hungry for it. How long have you been on tour for?
So this is my 5th season, but I actually qualified 2017. So the first year on tour was 2018, but I broke both my hands in Japan, like 2 days before the start.
You broke both of your hands?
Yeah, I broke both my hands.
How did you do that?
I actually got home to Sweden and I stayed at my mom's house for 2 weeks because I couldn't take care of myself.
Did your mom wipe your butt?
No, I had 3 fingers, so.
Oh, okay.
It was, but it was really close for her to like. Also needed to do
how
that.
How embarrassing would that be as a grown man?
But she helped me take a bath and stuff like that, because
really?
Both my hands were like this. And I had these 3 fingers.
So were you bathing in shorts? Was it uncomfortable?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but she was helping me with.
I know. I'm just teasing. I'm trying to create some sort of like sound bite. Like, your mother gave you a bath as a grown man?
Oh no!
Yeah, that's clip. How'd you break your hands?
I smashed into a tree.
Oh.
Yeah, it was like a very, very deep pow day. I was out skiing with Christopher Liddell and Aymar Navarro, I think.
You don't say. You were with those guys?
Haven't you seen me with them?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so we were the crew out skiing, a really deep pow day in Japan, 2018, January, like 2 days before the first comp, I think.
Oh.
And couldn't see anything, powder everywhere. And like all of a sudden, oh shit, it's a tree.
There's a tree there.
Right at me.
Were you like in
And I just threw up my hands like this, because...
If it wasn't your hands, it would have been something else, probably.
Something else, yeah. So after all, it was quite okay.
Were you just like in the... Were you in the, like the slot or the rooster or like the, the cloud from the guys in front
I
of
was
you?
in a cloud of powder.
Yeah.
And just came out from it and just saw a tree like 1 meter in front of me.
Jeez Louise, man.
I had no chance.
And that was your first season on tour?
Yeah,
right before the first event?
Like 2 days before the first comp, I think.
Oh, no. What was going through your head then?
I was telling myself right after the crash, like, oh, it's okay. I just hurt my hand a little bit. It was hanging like this.
Both of them?
No, it was like my 2 knuckles here on the left hand, and the right hand, the wrist was broken.
Oh, good Lord.
But, I was telling myself, like, oh, it's all good. I'm just going to go to the hotel and take an aspirin, and like, it's going to be good tomorrow. And so Turdell and Aymar actually asked me, like, are you okay? Do you want us to help you to the hotel, carry your skis or something? I was like, no, I'm good. That's okay. So I skied down by myself. I picked up my skis with the elbows like this, walked to the hotel like 500 meters or something, came into the hotel, and I met some staff from the Freeride World Tour, and they were just looking at me like, are you okay, Carl? You look really pale. I already am pale.
Yeah, more than normal.
more than normal. So, and I was like, actually, I don't think so.
Oh no! Yeah. And then what was the process like of going to the Japanese hospital?
Oh, that was quite difficult, actually.
Yeah.
I didn't understand anything.
Because there's no Google Translate really back then, was there?
No, or maybe it was, but it was a tough process. I went to the hospital, couldn't understand anything. They did the X-ray, and they realized my right hand was broken, but they actually couldn't see anything here. Because
really?
I was like only telling them like my right hand is really hurting, so
right,
only X-ray this. So it wasn't before I got home to Sweden. They were looking at my left hand like, how about your left hand? Is that okay? Looks quite, swollen. Yeah, I was like, no, I think it's good. But the doctor like, no, we need to do X-ray on that one too.
Did you break the knuckles or like the
metatarsals? Like the knuckles here.
Oh, good lord.
Yeah.
And then
so I thought I was going to the hospital in Sweden just to get, you know,
a cast.
Yeah, on my right hand.
Right.
Got out of there with 2 casts.
Oh, jeez.
And I drove there by myself, so I had to call my mom. Like,
so were you driving like this?
This is gonna be difficult, Mom.
You driving with the elbows?
Yeah.
Oh man, well that's a great introduction to the tour.
Yeah, it was.
Holy, I didn't know that story. That's and were you like, oh crap, like am I gonna get to go back? Were you worried that you had to do
I was so
qualifiers
worried.
again?
I was really worried actually, because I remember my first call was to my team manager at Peak Performance.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so worried, like, oh, this happened, I'm so sorry, I don't know what to do, and like, but they handle it so good. It's like, no worries, Carl, you get back home to Sweden, take care of that, you're gonna be on the tour next season, no problem.
So you got the wild card for the next year?
I got a injury wild card for the next year, so.
Well, that's good. So you've been on the tour for 5 years now?
So this is my 5th season. Should have been the 6th.
Right, all right, and you're hungry.
Yeah.
And you're hungry.
So,
you finished 2nd overall last year.
Mm-hmm.
3rd overall the year before.
Yeah.
Derek and I were talking about it on the FWT podcast. I'm like, Carl's going for number 1 this year.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you always do, I don't know. I actually never went for it, you know. Like, I always been going to the tour, like, I'm just going to try to have fun.
Right.
And if I get a good result, that's just a big bonus, you know.
Right. Are you the kind of guy that you need to, that's just how you do best?
I think so, yeah. I mean, of course, you really want to go for it and aim for the win, but I get so disappointed then if that's
really?
not the case. Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons, like if you were like, I'm going to win this event and go full on, do you think your focus, that different perspective will be, you'll perform differently?
I don't know, actually, when I think about it, I'll get disappointed either way. So maybe I should actually just start and be there in the gate and like, I'm going to go for the win.
Yeah, well, because you know what your run is, you visualize it, and then just give that little extra, like, I'm stomping everything.
Yeah. But
maybe you need that killer spirit. Maybe you need more of like a dick around like everyone, like after be like,
no,
and just like be like turn off happy nice Carl and be like competitive, like everyone be like, whoa, what's going on with Carl?
Like, what's going on?
Yeah, just for like maybe in the kicking horse, just show up and be like, what's going on with Carl? I don't know, he's really intense.
Should I try that? I should try that maybe.
Can you imagine if that works and you're like, oh crap, I gotta be like this all the time?
It took me 5 years to realize.
So the tour is the tour, and you mentioned Peak Performance. This past summer, you kind of evolved your role with Peak. You kind of took over. So Nicholas, shout out Nicholas, who's the Peak team manager, had a baby and took some time off parental leave, and you kind of moved into his team manager role over the summer. Was that something that you just offered up, or had you done school for it? Like, how did that work out?
No, Nicholas actually called me when I was here, like a year ago in Engelberg, and told me like, I'm gonna be away for the summer, hang out with my kid, and we're looking for someone to step in. And so yeah, he just asked me, and that was nice. I'm also studying, of course, economics, so I felt like this could be a good way to combine the school.
Right. So are you going to school currently?
Yeah.
Yeah. What? So you're taking an economics where?
At the Stockholm Business School in Sweden.
And then is it like what are the semesters like? Are you studying currently, like while you're on tour?
No, not while I'm on the tour, but actually right after the tour, I jump back into the school.
So it's like the
end of March.
The December to March semester is you just take that off to go skiing?
Yeah, take that off. Yeah.
How far along are you?
I actually only have like 1 year left now.
Oh, so. Nice. There's a few people. I think I was talking to Elizabeth Gerritsen. I think she's got like 2 semesters or 2 courses or something left.
Oh yeah, really? Yeah. I have 2 semesters left.
Yeah, that's excellent. And then, so what is it, like 4 or 5 classes a semester, or how does that work?
Yeah. Depends on how big the courses are, but something like that. Yeah.
What inspired you to go do that?
Wow, good question. I usually only follow my brothers. Actually, it's like been my whole life, like looking at my older brothers, looking at what they are doing, and they have been skiing, both of them on high level, and it's actually my older brother Ole who got me into my first freeride competition. He was like, you needed to start doing this. I was like, okay.
Okay.
Now I'm here, and then he started to study economics, and I was like, yeah, that sounds nice. Looks cool. I started studying economics, so.
Do you enjoy it though, or are you just doing it because that's?
Nah,
what
I'm actually enjoying it.
Okay,
well,
well,
I mean, if I wouldn't, then I wouldn't have done it. Like,
you're probably like, man, I hope my brother drops out so I can drop out too.
yeah, exactly. No, but I mean, it's not that I do everything what they do, but they inspire me a lot, I guess.
Yeah,
They
are
my
they
older
both
brothers.
both older?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
are you the youngest?
I'm the youngest.
Are they both gingers?
No, it's something wrong with my family. I don't know why. My oldest brother, he has brown hair. Ola, my middle brother, has blonde hair, and I'm ginger. So I don't know what's going on.
It's like a full mixed bag.
Something weird.
I'm the youngest. My brother's curly brown hair too.
Oh right.
But he's got like a ginger complexion, which pisses him off. So it's like almost, but not quite. Yeah. So you're close with your family?
Yeah, I am.
Both parents are around?
No,
No.
not my dad.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
No.
What may I ask? What about your dad?
He passed away 2009.
Oh no. Was it injury or was it like sickness or?
Like what's it called in English? I don't know actually. Something snapped in his like a vein.
Oh,
big
like
vein.
an aneurysm?
Yeah, so like that.
Oh, it was quick.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, super
no.
quick. But,
So it's not like some, some folks will get like a terminal disease that'll take a little bit of time, but at least you kind of get ready for it.
yeah.
So this was kind of like
Just like that.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
And then so you were fairly young.
16.
So yeah, that's tough, man.
Yeah, it was tough.
And then so but you have the couple brothers, the older brothers as well, that were kind of probably around.
Yeah, but we
end of
were
their
like
teens.
both my brothers my oldest brother were studying in the southern part of Sweden, and my middle brother was doing a lot of skiing then. So it was more or less only me and mom.
You and your mom?
But, yeah, so
That
me
was-
and my mom is really close.
Yeah,
I guess maybe that's one part of the reason.
just because you kind of had no choice but to lean on each other, kind of thing.
I guess so. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Did that affect how you thought about like doing skiing or?
Yeah, it affected my skiing back then, I think, because I was firstly alpine racing, and then I went into like jibbing, freestyle skiing, and competed. But I kind of like lost all my motivation after that. So I had a couple of years of like not competing.
Just trying to figure out what you're gonna do with your life, and like what's going on and what's the purpose, and
Yeah, I guess so.
right, because you lose that component in your life that's stable, and now you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, I remember I felt like I couldn't handle that pressure from competitive skiing while also dealing with that thing. So
It's pretty wise for a young kid.
yeah, I don't know. That was just what I felt back then. But then 2015, my middle brother Ola started like competing in freeride with the Scandinavian Big Mountain Championship, and he told me like, "Come on, let's go.
Yeah,
It's time."
yeah. Quit it.
Yeah, something like that.
yeah. That's kind of like the rite of passage. Is the Scandinavian Extreme Free Skiing Championship, isn't it?
It's what?
It's like the rite of passage. It's like every rider on the FWT seems to go through the Swedish Extreme Skiing Champion. I was asking you guys about it the other day. Like it's in May normally.
Yeah, like middle of May, beginning of May.
Did you ever win that one?
Yeah, I did. First time was 2014, and I crashed in qualification like big time. But I felt like, I remember at the start gate, like this is fun. I wasn't as nervous as when I competed in freestyle skiing or alpine skiing. And I felt something like this is fun. I want to do this again. So I went back 2015 and I won.
Oh, perfect.
So that was a good like.
And that was kind of on the path to your first season, right before you broke your hands.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that was 2015, and 2016 I started to compete on the qualifier tour.
And then boom, you're on the tour.
Yep.
Did you know
Also,
like Christopher and Reina beforehand?
Yeah, I knew them from like the Scandinavian Big Mountain Championship. I'm from the Swedish ski community isn't that big, so
Right.
everybody knows everybody.
Everyone's super tight in Aura. or they're here in Engelberg, which is like an enclave of Sweden.
Yeah,
Swedish enclave
exactly.
in Switzerland.
Pretty much the same in Åre, as here.
I was telling someone on the phone that I'm like,
part of Åre is here.
I'm in Little Sweden. They're like, what? I thought you were in Switzerland. I'm like, well, kinda.
Yeah, exactly.
So last night we were talking about, and I want you to maybe tell us on the podcast, you were talking about there's kind of a rivalry, a beef between the people of Åre and Engelberg.
Yeah. I'm not a part of that, I hope. But there is some kind of social media beef between the skiers here in Engelberg and the skiers in Åre, I guess.
Why? So all the people that are here, they left Sweden to come here and it's better mountains?
Yeah, but I guess the people here in Engelberg can't handle how proud people are of Åre back home, you know. People who skis in Åre, they are really proud of Åre.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
Yeah.
I love it. I mean, it's nice. It's the best skiing in Sweden. So why shouldn't you be proud and like it?
Right.
But they like make fun of us down here. Like, oh, so when they are out skiing here in Engelberg and it's a good pow day, they do this hashtag like almost in Åre, almost as in Åre or something like that.
Right.
And then it has just built up to be some kind of social media beef. But it's quite fun.
That's interesting. It's kind of like
follow.
it's kind of the same dynamic, but maybe without the beef. As in the United States, all the people from the East Coast like Ski the East.
Oh yeah,
They all-
I've seen that Ski the East.
They
Yeah.
Ski the East. It's like a clothing company, kind of like a culture brand.
Oh, okay.
Out in I guess in Vermont, in Burlington. Good guys, good dudes. But a lot of people will come out and move. That's kind of the thing. Like, oh, we moved west.
Oh,
like
yeah.
they'll go to Utah or they'll go to Colorado.
Okay.
But I don't think it's quite as like, you know, I don't think it's a beef, but
Yeah.
the people that move out, actually the people that from the East Coast, I think, give crap to the people that left.
Oh, okay.
And the people that left are like, well, you'd get it if you came out here.
It's kind of good here.
Yeah, it's not bad, especially this year in places like Alta where it snowed more than like ever.
Yeah. But it's also kind of lame. I mean, you can't compare the Alps with the Swedish fjäll.
A fjäll, is that
Fjäll.
what it's called?
Yeah, fjäll is like, we don't like have any mountains in Sweden. We have a few of them, but we usually call them fjäll. It's something in between a mountain and a hill.
In a hill,
Yeah.
fjäll.
Yeah, fjäll. And they're like really, really old and round, you know. Not like the Alps.
Kind of like, we have that, yeah, that's kind of what it's like back east, like in Ontario
Oh, yeah, I
or
can
like
imagine, yeah.
upper New York. It's these little small hills. that you
I
can-
love fjäll, really.
Do you?
Yeah, I think it's way better than big mountains here in the Alps.
A medium mountain is? Like mellow pow skiing? Is
Yeah,
that kind of
but
why?
the thing about fjäll,
Mm-hmm.
especially from where I am, Åre, or I'm actually from Östersund. I can't say I'm from Åre.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you can't say
1
that,
hour.
can-
It's 1 hour from Åre.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people who moves to Åre like to say that they are from Åre. So,
Mm-hmm.
but the thing about fjäll is that when you are on top of a fjäll in Sweden, you can see so far away. You know.
The entire country.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And you really get the feeling that I am on top of the mountain. But when you are that here in the Alps, you're just standing up there and looking into the next mountain.
Right.
You know, like into a wall.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that feeling about being on a fjäll. You get the feeling that you're actually on the top because you can see everywhere. So cool.
I like that. That's a cool point.
it's
I've
nice.
never skied over there. I'd like to.
Yeah, you should.
Everyone said get to Sweden.
It's so good.
Yeah, I heard not for the cuisine, but for the culture.
Yeah, that's another thing I guess about that actually might not be here because you have like you have a ski culture here, but Åre is quite cool in that way because it's a really, really small village but with a big ski culture.
Yeah, it's funny because I've never been, and I know so many pro skiers, Swedish skiers, and it's all Åre is the place.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's the best place in Sweden, so that's kind of where everyone kind of coalesces. But from other stories, I'm like, how big is this place? Like apparently it's like super tiny, but like the percentage of like pro skiers per capita is actually quite high.
It's quite cool, yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite cool.
You're like living next door to like Kai Zackerson. Does he live up there?
No, he don't.
I thought-
You have him maybe a couple of years ago.
I
don't
know
actually, but
Henrik in his barn, and
Henrik
he's got
Winstedt, Sverre Lillekvist,
Right.
you have Regnér Barkered, you have Henrik Arlo, Oskar Scherlin, like a lot of old pro skiers are from Åre.
Yeah, and then have you skied in Henrik's barn? Does he ski run in the backyard?
Yeah, I love that.
Is it decent?
Yeah, it's one lift, and you have
Like he built a lift.
Yeah,
He's got lights.
Yeah.
He's got a snowcat.
Yeah, it's got a snowcat.
That's pretty cool for your backyard.
I mean, it's funny.
How much does he charge you for a lift ticket?
You need to get there and work and build on the jump. Then you get your lift ticket. Yeah, but he's such a cool guy, and that yard is amazing.
Yeah.
It's the best place in Norway.
No way. Is it better than the ski hill?
He only misses a good after ski there. Then it's like complete.
Like a good après?
Yeah.
So he's got to build like a bar at the bottom?
Yeah, I told him you should build a bar.
He's get it started.
It'd be cool though.
Right?
Right? Then he has everything.
And then you can start charging tickets and do like events and stuff. He should have like some sort of like little rail jam or an event in his backyard.
Yeah, but he does sometimes like invite friends and build a jump and like
a big
make a fire.
Henrik Winstedt Invitational
yard session
presented by Nocco
and peak performance.
So you were telling me about that the other day. Nocco is like I didn't know what it was for the longest time.
It's like a Swedish upcoming energy drink without carbs.
Mm-hmm.
So like
for like the gym rats.
Yeah, but they're also like focusing a lot on other sports and extreme sports especially. So growing really fast in Sweden and love the brand. They're cool guys.
Are they?
Yeah.
We'll have to get them out in North America. See what they got. Do you drink a lot of it?
I do, especially when I train and like on the mountain for competitions and like
There you go. All right, so I want to get back to the Peak stuff. We went through, because you got that job working for Peak, and then you covered for Nicholas, and it kind of ties in with your economics schooling. What were you doing, and what were some of the things that you were like, oh my God, was there something specific that you didn't realize that the job was? Like, what were your duties over that time?
Yeah, it was actually quite funny because I had I had my view of Niklas' work.
Right, as an athlete and him as a team manager.
As an athlete and talking to him as an athlete manager, like ordering stuff if I miss something or like scheduling, planning the winter and like, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So that was like my view. I thought like he was only having contact with us athletes, like, do you need a new t-shirt or something or a new ski jacket or what's going on, like,
Right.
But it was so much more than that, I realized when I started working. And that was a good thing because I really got to see like the other side of being an athlete and like behind the, behind everything. And that was a really good experience and I liked it.
Offers a little bit more perspective, right? So maybe you're not just emailing him right away.
No, like, Niklas, hey!
Yeah. So what were some of the things that were surprising for you? Like, what did you have to do? Was it a lot of computer time?
A lot of computer time, and I mean, he's handling almost like 30 athletes or something.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so quite many of them. It takes time to talk to everybody and like trying to get a picture of what everybody is going to do during the summer or the winter and what they need before the winter and,
Kind of prioritize them as well. And I'm sure, you don't have to say, but you can if you want. I'm sure some are more high maintenance than others.
Of course, they are. Yeah, it's quite big difference between all the athletes. So that was good to get a perspective. And also, I mean, it was actually funny because the whole company, Peak Performance, all the different divisions like, design and production, everybody wants to know things from the athletes. Like, hey, can you ask the athletes about this or this or this or this?
Oh, like input on...
Yeah, inputs from all the
right.
Yeah, so it was quite a lot to do, but it was fun. And
right.
I learned a lot, so...
Were you going to do you think you might move into that moving forward? Is that something that you were curious about, like continuing on? And while you were in there, did you take advantage of being like, oh, this is something that I've always wondered about, I always had to ask about, but now I can just do it. So like no one's looking, you just like change something in the computer. Or like,
oh, you mean if I was like sneaking around?
Not sneaking around. No, that's not necessarily sneaking around, but like taking advantage of like an opportunity. Like, oh, I'm actually in this position now. And when I'm going back to my ski career or... I see, like, did you see anything that could have been changed from your perspective? Like, obviously, you're only there for a few months because you're just kind of filling in, so you can't really do too much.
Yeah, exactly. And it was during the summer, so, I mean, it's quite of a low season, so it was not that much going on during the summer. But
right.
But I do learn a lot, as I said, and that was a good learning experience.
Yeah, something you might want to do moving forward.
Yeah, it can be. I mean, I still have a few years left skiing, I hope, and also need to finish my school. But I mean, I'm open for everything.
You could go in and
I have no idea what I want to do.
you could get your degree, go into Peak, be like, all right, I'm coming in, I'm changing
Here
things.
I am.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. I wonder, like, just give yourself an extra jacket or.
I might do.
But I bet you approach him in that differently now, knowing, you know, because you've seen some athletes approach you or other people, or you know how that job works now.
Yeah.
So you understand, if I go this way, it's going to be easier for him, which will be easier for me.
But I also, I do hope I was easy to work with before as well. But now, of course, I know it can be difficult to handle all 30 athletes at the same time, wanting different stuff. So, but I don't think I have changed that much, because I think
you're like, all right, okay, this is what I figured.
I think I was quite easy to work with.
One of the reasons I wanted to ask you this question,
so.
because I think I sent you a few emails that you never replied to.
No way, you did? No way.
I think so.
No!
I just remembered that now. I'm like, did you ever get back? I don't think it was anything super important. But I'm pretty sure I sent you.
I suck at work.
I'll double check. I was like, should I tell him on the air? Yeah, I'm totally gonna sandbag him.
You really did?
I think I may have. I don't know. I'm gonna, because I don't know if it was even the right email.
Oh, okay.
So we'll check afterwards. And
okay. Yeah, we need to do. I'm sorry, man.
So that's why I'm like getting really into. I'm like, so were you really good at your job, Carl?
Probably I'm not.
I'm like, do you plan on going into this in the future? Because maybe.
Oh wow, I have so much to learn. Answering emails.
Oh man, was that a shock to you how much like computer work there was?
No,
because you're normal school or whatever.
Yeah,
or you're just like I just won't answer this email anyways.
I was not shocked. I mean, I was prepared for it, and I'm still. It's a lot in school, so it's not that I have done nothing in my life more than skiing. I was prepared, I guess.
So Nicholas and I drove here, drove to the airport before we flew over here. I was like about a couple of the flight after you. And we listened to a ton of music, back and forth. I didn't realize how much he's into music. He's like, Carl is really into music too.
Yeah.
And he plays guitar.
I do.
And you're in a band.
Not at the same level as Niklas, though.
Is he that good?
He's really good at the guitar, but he might not tell you that. But he's really good.
I asked him, like, do you sing? He's like, do you play guitar and sing? And he says yes. And I'm like, all right, so he's pretty
and
good.
He can play the piano as well. And,
oh, really?
Yeah, he's talented.
All right, well, this isn't a podcast about Nicholas.
Yeah.
This is a podcast about yourself. So he said that you're like a really good guitar player. You're big into music as well. Is that like one of your hobbies?
Yeah. It's a big hobby of mine, play the guitar and listen to music, but I wouldn't say that I'm that good playing guitar.
No, well, he said
I can play the guitar, if I say like that.
He said you joined in their band, like you filled in.
Yeah, Niklas has, I filled in, exactly, I filled in.
Yeah.
No more than that.
Well, I don't know, he was pumping you up pretty good.
Oh, Niklas, stop! That's not true. I'm the one who's supposed to pump his guitar playing up, because he's really good at it.
Yeah, no.
Let's talk about Niklas.
No, it's not at all. Okay. This is the Carl podcast.
Yeah.
How long have you been playing guitar for?
Wow. I don't know. Since I was around 10, maybe? Something like that. Can't remember.
Yeah.
My dad was a big fan of music and guitar, so we always had a lot of guitars at home. So.
What kind of, did you ever like play with him and stuff?
Yeah, I did.
Did you continue to play like after he passed away, or is it something that is it something that you feel close to him when you do?
I guess, as well as with skiing, my interest of skiing comes from that as well, and the guitar. So yeah, I haven't looked at it in that way, but I guess so. One way to connect.
Is it just like when you're at home and you're just picking up strumming, or are you like writing songs? Or?
No, not writing anything by myself. Only strumming, playing along.
Just a little.
Yeah.
Pick it up and pluck.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at, but it's literally plucking. It's like bling.
Like one string.
Yeah, like one or two. If I can get like a 3 chord change, I'm like, cool. nice. Cool. But I'm not good enough to be in a band.
We can always find a spot for you.
That covers Savage Garden.
You can do those, that triangle.
The triangle? Yeah. I'll play the triangle. Anyways, I want to get back to this. You filled in for his band. Did you like learn a bunch of the songs that they play, or was it just covers?
Yeah, mostly covers, or like only covers. And they're quite tight and they're good, like playing together. So and one of their guitar players moved, I think, from Stockholm up north. So Niklas just called me like, hey, do you want to join, jam? You know, it was not a big deal, just jamming, having fun.
Is it tryout?
Yeah, it felt like it. I was actually quite nervous.
Yeah.
Because I know they are good at playing, especially Niklas. So I was like quite nervous. Like, this feels like a tryout. But I think I did good because they invited me another time. So.
Oh, there you go. That's how you get better too. It's just playing and playing.
Yeah. Of course.
He was playing a Savage Garden song in the car.
Oh,
he's like, yeah, we're covering this song.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna ask Carl.
Did you like it?
Yeah, sure.
Sure, not that much.
He's like, you must know this song. I'm like, no, I know of it.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I know of it is because Emily Childs from the Blondes. She's a big Savage Garden fan.
Oh, okay, cool.
Maybe I've said too much.
Edit that out.
So we were talking about, what were we talking about the other day? We've been skiing around for a couple days here in Engelberg. Like we had like the greatest pow day.
Oh, that was so good.
Of the season the other day.
I'm gonna remember that one.
Me too.
Yeah.
Right. You know, there's those specific days you're like, oh yeah. Probably because it was the next day it turned to, like the wind destroyed the whole phase.
Yeah, and for me, I guess I don't know about you, but this was my first powder day for the season.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you guys about that because
I know.
When
was this? This was 2 days ago, right?
2 days ago.
6th of February. First powder day. It's crazy.
Dear diary.
Dear diary.
Do you have a journal or do you keep anything like that?
No.
But that's one of the things I always like to talk about, like competitive athletes, is a lot of times you don't really get to ski much, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Like I watched you throw that 7 in Andorra. I was like, Jesus. I'm like, I knew you had it, but you don't. It's nothing you see every single day.
No.
I don't see you on social media practicing on the trampoline. Like, is that just something you have in your back pocket? Like, how did you develop that just through your slopestyle career when you said you did some slopestyle training and stuff? And is it just muscle memory for you now?
Muscle memory, I guess. But I mean, I'm an old gymnast and I did a lot of park skiing back in the days. I was like really, really, really into park skiing. So, I mean, I have the tricks, but I haven't done them on the Freeride World Tour, unfortunately, because I never like... I don't know. I've been too nervous competing and stuff like that, so I haven't felt I could show the skiing I want to show. But so I'm not proud of the 720 I did. I think it was ugly and it was not the best landing. But I finally did a 720, so I started I started something.
Yeah, like
a path that I want to follow.
It's interesting because you have those skills.
Yeah.
Right, and it's just in the last couple of years that a lot of those athletes have really started to insert them into the comps.
Yeah.
And you're like, are you thinking like, oh crap, like I can do that, but I got to keep up?
Yeah, I mean, if looking back at my competitive career on the World Tour, I kind of feel when I qualified, I was like, yes, now I'm gonna do the World Tour, and I was like so stoked, and I was like, I had this vision idea of what I was gonna do on the tour, and that was like 720s, flat 360s, good looking backflips and a lot of tricks combined with big mountain skiing. But I remember my first competition being in the start gate. I was so nervous
because you just got back from broken hands. Like you missed that whole season.
Yeah, but also it was such a big thing. Interviews, helicopters, TVs and everything. And I was so nervous. And I still today I don't feel that satisfied with my skiing on the tour. I still feel like I haven't showed what I actually can do and how I can ski. And that's a tough thing, because it's a lot up here, being in start gate. Like you're nervous, you can't feel your legs, you feel weak, you doubt yourself, and I'm still handling with those mental.
Have you ever done any sports psychology or training or anything like that?
No. Maybe I should have.
Maybe I talked about that with Burke Irving last week's episode, or no, a few weeks ago. He's a half pipe competitor, and he's kind of the same. He's like, it's just I've been doing it for so long, it doesn't matter to me. Yeah. But I like having those conversations because sometimes you just need to talk to someone who you don't know to unlock something. Yeah. You've got a pretty good core support group here, especially here on the tour, with guys like Regnér, guys like Carl. I know that sometimes, and we've mentioned before, you and you're Carl, Regnér and Christopher.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
When is he gonna realize?
You saw the wheels
He's talking
turning.
to Carl, not Christopher.
But like a lot of times, you guys will ski similar lines because it's like the best line that kind of suits your style of skiing.
Mm-hmm.
I liked watching you do a completely different run from Christopher the other day and throw that 720 and land it, which I was like, nice. I like to see that. So maybe you're kind of finally getting into that spot where because you just mentioned to me like you're not satisfied with it, but that's why we kept saying you're hungry. It's like I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh yeah, I want to see him just take a bite.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to go there, you know, trying to find my own way. And that's probably my biggest mistake at my first year. I was looking way too much on like, what is Regnér gonna do? What is Christopher gonna do? And I talked a lot to them and I listened to them. And that's not a bad thing, but I was like trying to follow them too much, I think. And I
year they didn't
listen
tour.
to myself and like, what do I want to do? How do I want to ski? And that's probably what I learned most the recent years. Like, it goes best if I try to find a line that suits me, my skiing, and when I feel like, oh, this can be fun to ski this line and do a 720 or something.
Do you think that's your key this season? Is just find something that you're going to be fun to ski?
Yeah, I think so. That's the key, of course.
Yeah.
It is.
Right.
Yeah.
And then so, you've been on the tour for a bunch of years, and we just spoke about like Ski and Pal. Like that was a fun day, like best day of the year. Like obviously, guys like Paul and the crew in Tahoe and Alta this year, that's all they've done is Ski Pal.
Yeah.
But there's those years like last year where you barely get to do really any skiing.
No.
Does it get to a point where you're like, oh, like this is driving me crazy?
Yeah, of course. It can. I mean, when competing, it can be a day like this. It's so beautiful outside and it's a lot of pow, but you can't ski because you really need to be at a meeting or you need to look at the scope to face and like trying to figure out your line, and it feels like you're wasting so many good days. And yeah, we don't ski that much as competitive skiers.
That always blows me away because then you go and drop a line like you just did.
Yeah.
And I'm like cold.
Yeah.
I'm like, he hasn't even really skied much. Like, when's the last time you threw a 720 before comp day?
I did like 2 720s in the park back home before competition.
2? Like what, last month?
Yeah, last month.
Yeah. That's absurd to me.
And before this season, I have only been skiing on piste.
Right.
I've been doing no freeride skiing at all.
So considering, and this is the mindset that I wonder too, is like considering you guys are freeride athletes, but you don't really get to freeride all that much when it's good. You just sometimes be like, oh, I'm going to take a comp off, or like, do I take next year off, or do I want to continue on with that? I know there's always those ups and downs of like, do I want to keep doing this? Do I not want to keep doing this? We kind of had that conversation this morning.
Yeah.
Where it's like the community and the atmosphere and the vibe and the way of life, it's familiar and comfortable and it's really fun. But then there's also the reason you're on the tour is like because you're a skier, you want to ski, and you don't really get to ski all that much. Is that weird kind of that strange balance?
Yeah, but competitive skiing for me is also I really like it because actually, as a skier, I am quite conservative. I love to ski on piste. Like resort skiing is my favorite thing. Like without a backpack.
Get a pair of skinny skis and start railing turns.
Spring without a jacket, just having fun with your friends, hitting small jumps everywhere, to the right, to the left, like having fun. And I'm actually really scared of like freeride skiing, and I'm afraid of heights. And
I thought you were just joking the other day.
No, I am. I'm really, really afraid of heights.
Oh.
And I don't do ski touring because I don't like it, and I'm really afraid of like freeride skiing as well because I'm afraid of avalanches. I'm quite afraid of everything, So I just love to be a resort skier. It's the best thing in the whole world.
Yeah.
So but that's also why I love to compete, because that's my way to push my skiing. Mm-hmm. Because if I don't compete, I mostly just do on piste skiing.
Interesting.
So
it's
really my way to push my skiing. Because that's the safest possible way to do it on a competition. Because I know there has been an organization there, like bombing the face, and you have rescue team on place, and
Mm-hmm. That's a really fascinating point of view. I'm a resort skier for a lot of those same reasons. Yeah. Is because like I'm an overthinker, right? Like some people say, for instance, you do like an avalanche course, right? Mm-hmm. Sometimes it'll do 2 things. like an AST1.
Yeah.
It'll either give you sometimes a false sense of confidence. Oh, sweet, I did a course. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to go out into the avalanche. Or B, it's going to scare the crap out of you.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm kind of in that zone where if I'm out somewhere and I don't think that I have the full amount of knowledge, I'm the kind of person like I need to know everything before I do something. So if I'm out in the backcountry and it's reliant on, and my safety is reliant on me and my knowledge, that's where I'm like kind of afraid and concerned. Because I don't know if I know enough, right? Whereas if I'm a guide or I'm with people that I trust who have more experience than I do, then I'm or equal, and I can kind of, not necessarily rely on them fully, but understand I can utilize their knowledge and utilize their experience, then that's where I'm a little bit more comfortable. But if it's up to me, same sort of thing. Like I tell people all the time, I'm a resort skier. Yeah. I want to get on a lift. I want to know that this slope is bombed. I know that the risk is minimal. Yeah. And then I can get back to doing whatever I want to do, right? Yeah. And to go on a big backcountry mission or a sled mission, or like you said here the other day, it's like Chamonix. It's like I just want to go skiing. I want to hang from a damn rope before I ski a line.
But it's from my perspective, I want to ski for as long as possible.
Right.
So I mean, Regnér, and Terrell always talk about sustainable skiing.
Okay.
You need to calculate your risks, and and that's also one thing that we like with competitive skiing, because then you can take your risk while competing. It's like a long-term investment, sustainable skiing.
Yeah.
I want to be like Regnér is 40. He's 10 years older than me. Still skiing like a god. I want to do that too.
Do you want to be on the tour
if
in 10
I'm
years?
always out there every day taking risks, I might not be doing that in 10 years.
That's fair. Like it's interesting that like some people just need to take those risks or they thrive off it or they get.
Of course.
I don't. I've never. I
don't. Me neither.
I like doing things that invigorate me and like I get fired up from, like a big line or something like that. But like with all of that extra risk in it, that's not for me either. No. Like I talk to people every day that's what they do. It's what they crave. Yeah, exactly. And I talk to them and I try to understand it and I want them to explain their story. But a lot of times deep down, I don't personally really, I can't relate to it in the same way. Right? I've always kind of been that take it kind of easy, take it mellow. Do you want to be on the tour in 10 years still?
I don't know that. Maybe not.
What would be your title? There's the Mayor of Stomptown.
Mayor of Stomptown. Wow. I don't know. What do you think?
The Ginger King.
Ginger King. Yes.
What were we talking about yesterday? We're going to start. So let's get on to that topic. The ginger skiers. Yeah. There's some excellent ginger skiers in the world.
Oh, there is, right?
Right. There's Ian McIntosh. Yeah. Right. Cole Richardson. Dane Tudor. Dane Tudor. Right. You've got Carl Regnér.
Who's that?
Some guy that on a podcast I did this one time. There's I'm gonna put myself in there because I'm part of it. I'm not the skier, but like I'm the red ginger who talks to skiers. So what we were talking about the other day, we should do like some sort of like summit, like instead of the sister summit, do the ginger summit.
Ginger summit. Yeah, right? We need to stick together.
No, we can get it sponsored by like Coppertone, the sunscreen.
Sunscreen, yeah.
Sunscreen company.
That'd be cool.
It's funny. I didn't actually realize you were ginger for the longest time. I don't know why.
That's weird.
Secretly, that's what we decided in the meetings. We've already said too much. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's interesting that to hear you say that, and it's such a contrast to what everyone would think, right? Like everyone on the Freeride World Tour, they're daredevils or whatever. But that risk is different because it's, you can be up in the mountains, and you can kind of figure out what level of risk you want to do. Like, okay, we're gonna ski the slope, but we know the angle of the slope. Yeah. We know what the snowpack might be. Yeah. We know how far away we are from help. We know what survival gear and stuff we have, which you can do on the Freeride World Tour. Yeah. But I'm then going and skiing like a mellow pow slope, whereas you're hucking your meat over like cliffs and rocks that you've never actually skied before. You've just looked at from a couple different angles. Yeah. Right, so that to me is fascinating too, because you're like, I don't like that. I just want to ski and chill on the piste, but then you're going to the gnarliest spot, doing the gnarliest things imaginable, right? So it's kind of like it's almost this weird separate. It's like you're saving everything up for one shot.
Yeah, I guess.
Or maybe it's just like let me know if I'm wrong. It's like you don't mind the quick bursts of that risk-induced energy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Rather than like a slow burn all day where it's kind of on the back of your mind and you're out there and hanging from that rope or doing those things.
And I mean, it's a good chance to do it when competing. As I said, like it's the safest possible way, and it's like you really get your chance. Like here you can go.
Mm-hmm.
Here you can develop your skiing and like push it in a really, really good, safest possible way. Like it's nice.
Do you have any plans?
But you need to find the balance, you know. I mean, but I guess I do find the balance from like pushing my skiing and also having fun, you know, competing, and then might take the risk down when not competing. Like it's a good balance.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you bring that up, because not many people on the show have said that. Like, I don't like it, right? Because and I appreciate that too, because a lot of those people, even if they don't like it, they'd rarely admit it, right? Because it's their job.
Yeah.
You know, when you're a pro skier, aren't you supposed to be able to handle risk? Are you supposed to be craving, you know, craving uncertainty and craving finding yourself on the edge, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I guess from a sponsor perspective, you might also want to see a long-term relationship with your...
Yeah, they want you to stick around.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess if I would sponsor someone, I guess I'd like that mindset too. Like not being out there every day, taking a lot of risk. Like
Right. Don't scare the crap out of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get the content, but like, you know.
But I don't mind other people taking a lot of risk every day. I mean, it's up to each person.
Does
you know? I'm not against it. It's
Right.
like, it's just my way of skiing. Like
Do you get like when you see people doing things on tour, are you like, Jesus?
yeah, sometimes. But I also know like they are so good. Everybody who's on the world tour, and everybody knows what they are doing. So it's just cool to watch most of the times. Like you really can see the skiing progress and snowboarding. So it's cool.
You got to keep up. So what do you do when you're not skiing and not playing guitar? Or, well, I guess you said you kind of downplayed your guitar playing, which is fine. If there was a guitar here, which there might be, I would.
No chance. I'll play Wonderwall with Oasis.
Oh yeah, Oasis. That's right. No, that's what he said. He said you like Oasis. Like you're a big fan.
Massive fan of Oasis.
Okay, I watched. I saw some meme the other day, and this guy was talking about how the Gallagher brothers should just make up and just start playing Oasis songs again.
Yeah.
Because they have
I saw that too. Yeah.
Because they have the two separate bands.
Yeah.
And no one gives a shit about either of those bands. They just want them to play.
But he was like, get over it, guys.
Yeah.
Just get together and be Oasis.
Play Oasis songs again.
Yeah. But I don't know if I want that to happen though.
No?
I kind of like it how it is today.
For real?
That tension, like, yeah.
But
I know, I mean, you know, they're never going to be like they were before. From 96 to 2000.
Yeah, because they're old now, right? Like, I'm a huge Metallica fan.
Yeah.
I had some friends send me a message the other day. They're like, hey, we got tickets for Metallica in the summer. I went, great. They're like, they're in L.A. It's a Friday and a Sunday night show. I'm like, oh, all right. Looks like I'm going to watch them in L.A. But they're, and I've seen them a dozen times, but now they're in their 60s.
Yeah.
So part of me is like, still the same songs.
You know, never meet your hero.
Do you believe that?
I guess I have that feeling.
We've met. We both know Regnér.
Oh, that's true. He's a good guy.
Yeah, why?
Regnér?
No, I mean, like, why don't you meet your hero?
I thought you mean like, why is Regnér a good guy? Why?
Yeah, why is he though? No, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Don't meet your heroes.
Yeah. Because I have this like picture of Oasis, you know, like, and I don't want to destroy that.
But aren't they like? Don't you know that they're just dickheads though?
They are.
I don't know.
Yeah, but
They come across as
I know
it.
they were.
They were.
But I like a really cool rock star, you know.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Do you read like?
I mean, the best concert for me would be to go to a Liam Gallagher concert where he doesn't show up. I'd be like, fuck yes, I'm gonna do this again.
For real?
Yeah, it's cool.
Because that's part of
It's a rock star.
Yeah, I guess so.
He can do whatever he wants.
And you
And I just like that, like, you know, I like to have that picture. Like, he's a lawless guy because he's so cool.
So even if you spend all his cash,
I wouldn't be angry if he didn't show up.
because you'd be like, oh, this is exactly what I expected of him, or what I was hoping of him.
Doesn't care. He's cool. I'm serious.
No, that's awesome. I love it. I like you have like, I'm learning all these, like, you have these different angles on opinions and thoughts, and I like it because you think of things just a little bit to the left. It's kind of throwing me off, but I like that. But I get it too, because you're just like,
do you see my point? Like,
yeah, the whole exactly. That's who this is.
Yeah.
Right. And if he came and played, sure, I'd enjoy the concert.
Of course.
But if he didn't show up, he'd be like, oh, that's who the guy I think he is. Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, you can't meet him and talk to him and have him just be a dickhead. And you're like, oh, you just in person.
Meet your hero.
Yeah, in person could be a little bit of a dickhead, but So what are you doing in the summer times when you're not, or like away from skiing? Like, what do you do for yourself? Do you like to travel? Do you sail?
My girlfriend sail a lot.
What's the deal with all the Swedes sailing? It seems to be a thing.
Yeah.
What's that body lake or what's that body of water that you guys? What's it called? Is it the Baltic Sea?
The Baltic Sea.
What do you guys call it in Swedish?
Östersjön. The Eastern Lake.
It's not a lake though.
I know. We're weird in Sweden, I guess.
No, you guys. I like asking you questions. We have one that I can't mention on the air.
Oh, I know.
Like,
I know.
Yeah. If you're Swedish, what's the translation of to nap? Like what's like if you're gonna take a sleep in the afternoon?
A tupplur.
Yeah. So just look it up. I'm not gonna tell you what it is.
Tupplur. It's a.
Yeah, no, it's tupplur. Yeah, exactly. But it's amazing. That's why I love kind of hanging out with you guys, because you say all your Swedish things, and I'm just kind of sitting there, and every once in a while an English word will pop up, and I'm like, oh, what are they talking about?
Learning weird Swedish words. Translate them into English.
Right. A lot of times they're like half English, but even like having a basic knowledge of new languages I like to learn, because then there's always some kind of funny way to twist it to English.
Oh, yeah.
To Swedish. Mm-hmm. How many languages do you know?
Only 2.
Only?
Swedish and English.
And you call yourself a European?
I studied French also in school, but I can't say a single word.
For real?
No.
Even like with the Duolingo or something?
No.
Oh, but anyways, back to sailing. We were talking about sailing.
Oh, yeah. I don't sail that much, but my girlfriend do. I play a lot of tennis.
Oh, really?
With my girlfriend and friends, which is really, really nice. I love playing tennis.
Tennis or like pickleball? What's your opinion on pickleball?
Pickleball?
What's that? Are you know pickleball?
No? Oh, is that the one?
It's kind of like halfway between ping pong and halfway between tennis.
What?
Yeah.
I might have missed that.
Like you play it on a tennis court, and it's like a little plastic, I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you don't know pickleball?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a lazy person's version of tennis, I think, and like a athletic version of
like paddle.
Yeah, athletic version of like ping pong. Yeah, so use a paddle.
Yeah.
It's like on a tennis court on like half size with a paddle.
Yeah, for the lazy ones. Can't play tennis.
Maybe.
I play a lot of tennis. That's probably what I do during summer. Yeah.
Just chill and hang out.
Yeah. I really like to hang out in Sweden during the summer. It's a really good time. I mean, I travel so much during winter time, so it's nice to be home. And Swedish summer, when it's good, it's really good.
Yeah, right, for the, 6 weeks of the year?
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, it's like, it's perfect temperature. It's not too warm.
Ginger's paradise.
Yeah, it's Ginger's
I'm coming out there.
Summer, actually.
I'm gonna come out there next year.
Yeah.
But like the sailing thing, always is it like part of the culture in Sweden?
To sail? Yeah, I guess it's a big culture. Skiing, sailing. I think
like
so.
What's
I mean, a lot of skiers sail, especially from Sweden.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because everyone I talked to is like, oh, we're sailing. I thought it was like it's like one of the nationals, like a summer sport.
The archipelago in Stockholm is really beautiful, and on the west coast too. So I guess a
lot of like little islands and cabins and things like that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of like Vancouver, like there's Gulf Islands in between here and Vancouver
probably.
Island.
Yeah, and it's really nice to just sail around all the islands, and
It's interesting because we don't really have kind of the same kind of, I guess, geography where I grew up in Vancouver. The water's right there.
Yeah.
We've got big Vancouver Island, so it's a nice kind of sheltered strait. Lots of fun little islands.
Yeah.
But I don't know anybody really who sails. Whereas like countries like that, it's like a lot.
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why. Why sailing is such a big thing in Sweden. I need to ask my girlfriend. She knows this.
Yeah. Do you like it? Or are you just like, okay, we're going sailing. All right, I'm gonna go.
No, I like it. I enjoy it. It's a good way to spend your day.
Are you at a space where you could like take a boat out by yourself?
No. Or maybe I can, but I'd rather not to.
It's the risk. Just kidding.
Yeah, exactly.
There's the ocean, and there's the tides and the wind and the yeah. I know what you mean. Right on. So this next season, so we got 3 more events this season.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you're sitting in what, 5th place overall?
Yeah.
Right, and you had 3rd place, and then this past week wasn't terrible.
It was terrible.
It was terrible?
Yeah, it was terrible.
You landed a 720.
No, I mean, but in Andorra. Yeah, Spain was good for me. But
That was the
Andorra
7 was in Spain? Didn't you do one in Andorra as well?
No. Just a 360 and a back.
Just.
Yeah, something like that.
Do you have a double backflip in you?
I do.
Yeah?
So that'd be cool.
Do you feel?
Maybe that's the next goal.
Do you feel the pressure to pull it off?
No, I don't.
No. What's kind of your opinion on because you have both? You have the freestyle stuff and you've got the big mountain stuff, right? And a lot of times you were mostly just big mountain with a trick here and there, and now that things have kind of progressed in the sport, you got to have both. Last year it actually kind of leaned almost exclusively towards freestyle.
Yeah, it was a lot of freestyle last year. A lot of freestyle. But I guess that's also because of the face we were skiing. They were really small.
Right.
Mostly all of them. Like it was only Beck in Verbier. That was like a big mountain.
Right. So now it's like, well, what do you have had to rearrange your brain to be like, I need to put this down now?
I mean, nah. It depends on the mountain, of course.
Right.
So, but it's a nice feeling to know that you can do both, I guess.
Yeah, and just figure it out.
Yeah.
And do you usually have a good idea of what you're going to do before you go? Are you one of those people in the top, I have a couple ideas of what my line should be, and you just figure it out as you drop in, or do you know ahead of time?
No, I like to have my line pretty clear before I drop in, especially the night before. It's nice to go to bed and work on your line, but that's also what freeriding is about. I guess you need to adapt and you need to have all the different options. It's good to have 2 or 3 lines in your head, but then maybe you have one line that you're really working on.
And that's the people that say that's the one constant when you ask people at the beginning, what do you think your line? Do you think you know your line? They're like, no, I don't know it. I'm not really sure. There's a couple. There's maybe. I'm not really, only probably a handful of times in the last few years have I asked someone and they'd be like, yep, I got a good idea.
Yeah, but I guess these days, the last years also, it's been more difficult to have your line ready. Because of the snow conditions. And I mean, in Spain, we had a big avalanche an hour before start. That changed everything.
Larry, one of the forerunners, he ruined the face.
Yeah. Thanks, Larry.
Yeah, Larry.
He ruined my line.
Did he?
Yeah. So I had to change. So that was quite spontaneous of me to do the 720. That was not my first choice.
The 720 wasn't your first choice.
No.
But it worked.
I was going to go straight down where the avalanche went. So.
Right. And then you do the 720, you end up on the podium.
So I guess it was good.
How does that change your outlook now moving forward? You're like, I did something that I wasn't expecting.
Maybe should go for plan B all the time.
Because that's kind of that's how things are shifting.
Yeah.
Right? Because you get all these guys that can do those tricks and they're going to get high scored points.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. That's a part of the freeride sport, I think, to be able to adapt to the conditions and to change in the last second,
Right, and you're becoming comfortable, a little more comfortable with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's good. It's funny that usually when I talk to someone who said, I don't really know, I have a couple options. Every time I spoke to someone that said, yep, I have a good idea, or I know my line, they always do really well.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a non-scientific study.
You should.
So we're currently in Engelberg, and it's about noon, and it looks like they want to come in and vacuum the floors.
Oh, yeah.
So we should probably go skiing?
Let's go skiing. Looks like a good day out there.
Put some sunscreen on.
Oh, we should do that today.
Get going.
A lot of it.
We'll talk about it in the meeting later.
Yeah.
The ginger meeting, but we've already said too much. Thanks, man. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you.
Good luck. I guess kicking was 10 days away next week?
Yep.
And we'll see you there. Mm-hmm. And we'll see what we can do. Hopefully they're getting snow. Hopefully
fingers crossed, right?
We can go in the big face. Do you like that face, the ozone face?
Yeah, it can be funny, I guess.
If it's filled in.
If it's filled in. I saw some picture now. Look, not that good, but
they've had
fingers
a thin start, but hopefully we'll get some snow. And even if the comp doesn't go, hope we get to go shred some pow.
Yeah, let's go.
Right on, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching this video on the LPP YouTube channel. If you haven't yet, please hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot to me. And while you're here, you might as well watch this great LPP highlights video. Thanks.